The weather outside is cold and miserable, so I want to record a video indoors today. Let's have a look at TikTok. I'm sure that there's a bunch of things about Stockholm and Sweden that I can get irritated at. Half the point of TikTok is getting upset at things after all, and the other half is looking at cute animals. Or maybe that's just my feed. Either way, let's start off with some first impressions of Stockholm.
How is everyone here a 10 out of 10? They must think I'm a shaved orangutan that's just escaped the zoo. This is how the hobbits must feel when they're walking around with elves. I don't get how everyone here is not just shagging each other 24/7.
Who says we aren't? No, but he's right, it does look a bit like a hobbit. And he's ginger as well, so he has no soul. But he's funny, so he'll be accepted by the Swedes either way. I wish I was funny. I look more like Gollum than a hobbit, so I could use some humor to get by. Anyway, onwards to the next first impression. Oh, look at that, some lovely views from Stockholm. But someone's made a huge mistake and it's visible right from the start. Yep, there it was. That's more like it. That is Swedish spring weather. You would not get all those nice shots in March. You'd get all that snow and misery instead. If only this person had watched my video all about the weather in Sweden, then they'd know better.
Aye, no, this is mad because look, I'm on a street, yeah? I'm on a street. Look, the street keeps on going. I'm on a street, V, and I'm also on a bridge.
So apparently here's a person from the UK who has never seen a bridge before in his entire life. The UK has 5 times as many people as Sweden and it's twice as small, but they haven't figured out that you can build things vertically yet. No wonder the Vikings conquered England so easily. Never forget Lindisfarne, we should make Scandinavia great again. Remember Lindisfarne. Oh, and I think that he's standing on a street called Malmskillnadsgatan, by the way. It used to be a sort of red light district in Stockholm. Now you know, not that you'll ever make use of that information, but now you know.
I'm Japanese in Sweden.
Today we're gonna go to...
Oh, and look at this. Someone from Japan is visiting Sweden. I'm sure he just has lovely things to say about Stockholm.
I just arrived. We just arrived at Stockholm. But I would never trust Swedish people
Okay.
when they say it's silly. Because
Trust
it's
issues.
not silly. Well, someone like me who is from Tokyo,
Not silly.
Stockholm is just like forest.
Forest! What the f? Look, I'm actually going to Tokyo soon and I'll make sure to call it a stupid concrete jungle full of amazing things to see and do and the closest thing to paradise on earth that exists for a geek. Okay, that didn't really come out as intended, but... Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here. It could have been something from Comic-Con, but of course it's outside on Drottninggatan. So I'm guessing that it was just a promotion for Squid Game Season 2. I still haven't watched that one, actually. Was it any good? Leave a comment. Yeah, sorry, that was just my pitiful attempt at trying to do a call to action. You don't have to leave a comment. But you can do if you want to, of course. But it doesn't have to be about Squid Game. But you can listen to a few words about Aura, this video's sponsor. You've probably heard that TikTok might get banned in the US. It's all because of fear that they might be leaking your personal information to questionable actors. Well, that's already happening, regardless of the potential TikTok ban. There are data brokers online selling anyone's data for just a few bucks to anyone. Big companies with poor security are getting hacked every day, and your personal information is being sold on the dark web, so spammers, scammers, and identity thieves can target you, and they face zero consequences from it. A lot of personal information is publicly available in Sweden. Your name, your birthday, your salary, all of this can be looked up online. But these data brokers are selling a lot more than that. And all of this information can be used to steal your identity and cause unimaginable problems in your life. That's where this video sponsor, Aura, can help. They will identify data brokers who are selling your information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Try Aura for a few weeks and you'll stop seeing your information on these sites when you search yourself, and that will also lead to less spam. Aura will also continuously monitor the dark web and alert you if they find any personal information that's being shared, or if anyone tries to use that information to access credit cards or bank accounts. Plus, they'll give you up to $5 million in identity theft insurance if the worst case scenario happens. The Aura app also has a VPN with more than 100 virtual locations as an added bonus. Visit my link aura.com/3starvagabond to try Aura for 14 days for free. Now let's get back to the video. Something else people seem obsessed with is Swedish women.
We're in Sweden, the official home of the world's most beautiful women. And today we're going to see if that's true and ask one on a date right now. Let's go ask them. Hello. We're filming a TikTok.
Oh my god. Those guys are so creepy.
No? Hello. We're just filming a TikTok video here.
No.
You don't want to be there? All good, all good. See you later. Hello, guys.
I'm not sure which one is worse, the one who can't button his shirt or the one with a really punchable face.
We hate cameras here. Hello, girls. We're filming a TikTok just here. No. You don't want to
I don't know if that's how people behave in other countries, but please don't come to Sweden if you're gonna approach women that way. But that's just my opinion. Let's see what some Swedish girls have to say.
Ska han prata svenska för att dejta han?
Alltså jag är ju väldigt dålig på engelska så att lite i alla fall.
Swedes aren't really as good at English as some people believe. But then again, it does depend on the person. Some people speak it really well, some don't. I can get by at least. I hope I'm making myself understood.
Alltså vi är blonda.
Blonda,
Blonda och blåögda.
Ja.
Jag har ju hört att folk säger att de snyggaste tjejerna finns.
So, yeah, you can hear a bit of her opinion, but this guy is actually asking some interesting questions and, well, he seems to be generally interested in knowing things about them. So he's not just behaving like a Neanderthal. The trick to picking up women in Sweden could actually be to just be a nice person and don't treat them like objects. Who'd have thunk it? Maybe that's something certain other cultures could learn a thing or two about. Now, let's talk about the nightlife in Stockholm. Yep, that's a typical summer night in Sweden. Nah, I'm just kidding, it's obviously winter, but the problem is that winter can last between like November and April. So, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of snow and ice, most years at least. Unless global warming hits us too hard. But yeah, you really need to know how to walk on ice, because you have to take these small steps, tiny steps, and you look really ridiculous while doing it. But not as ridiculous as when you fall on your ass, so it's still worth it.
Honest take, what's Swedish nightlife like if you're ever planning on visiting, especially Stockholm nightclubs? Number one, if you're visiting Gothenburg or Stockholm, there are two big popular nightclub areas, Stureplan in Stockholm and Avenyn in Göteborg.
Yeah, that is true. So Stureplan is a very popular area in Stockholm and Avenyn in Göteborg too. The problem is that those areas are filled with rich brats spending daddy's money, B-list celebrities, and girls trying to hook up with, well, random celebrities or rich people.
Most Swedish nightclubs requires a guest list, which...
That's not true. No, you don't need to be on a guest list, you don't need to know a promoter. That's ridiculous, seriously. You can just spend hours in line instead, hoping to get in sometime around 3 a.m. Stureplan is a boring place either way. Avoid it. The nightclubs aren't worth it. Go to Syntax Error instead. It's by geeks for geeks. Now, you might be a little bit confused about this one. Why do people have these pouches under their lips? That's snus, Swedish tobacco pouches. And I'm not sure, but they could actually be more popular among women than men. Either way, they're extremely Swedish, so it's very common to see them over here.
Swedish subway. I'm okay.
Yeah, this looks very typical for Sweden, especially after a football game. Or when Swedes get drunk, or a combination of both. Swedes are typically quiet and chill until you give them something to drink. It's a little bit like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, except that it happens every weekend in Sweden. What's this? She's doing a video about free things in Stockholm. That's my thing, I do videos like this. Don't watch this.
Save some money in 2024.
And another guy talking about cheap places. Stop it! Stop stealing my thunder! But this guy doesn't really have any good recommendations anyway. It's like he just walked into some random restaurants and picked anything. None of these are particularly cheap and not very special either. It's all just standard places to eat.
Tell me you live in Sweden without telling me you live in Sweden.
I don't get it. That's perfectly normal behavior. You occupy the seat next to you, so no tourist is fooled into thinking that it would be okay to sit next to you. That's common behavior in Stockholm and Sweden in general. Yeah, this is unfortunately something that's quite horrible about Stockholm and Sweden in general these last few years. I'd love to have some counter-argument to this, but no, the violent crimes actually have gotten worse. Let's move on to something more fun.
Top 3 sunkigaste barer I Stockholm.
Sorry for the Swedish voiceover, but this guy is basically talking about the 3 crappiest pubs in Stockholm. And, well, he actually knows nothing. A well-dressed guy like that hasn't even been to some of the worst pubs. Anyway, if you want to see some of the cheapest pubs in Stockholm, check out my video from 2024. And there are some really crappy pubs in that one. Yeah, actually, that was one of the pubs. So he got one correct. Oh, here are some nice pictures of Stockholm. Look at all those cozy alleys and the water. It looks really nice, doesn't it? Ah, but yeah. If you go to the suburbs, it's not really as touristy or as pretty. It's not a bad place to live. I grew up in the suburbs, but it's not what most people who visit Stockholm see.
I might get a lot of hate for this and cause the
Now,
debate
this sounds
between
very
Scandinavian
interesting.
countries. I live in Stockholm and I'm currently visiting Copenhagen. And as you might know, the slogan of the city of Stockholm is the capital of Scandinavia.
Yep,
However,
yes,
I just had
indeed.
lunch with my Danish friend, and when I
Ooh,
told him that
Danish
Stockholm
friends.
is the capital of Scandinavia, he got so mad because he thinks Copenhagen is the capital of Scandinavia.
No, everyone knows that Stockholm is the capital of Scandinavia. That's just silly. You can't trust a Dane. Danish judgment is all weird and screwed up because they're all just drunk and lazy. Before you give me a lot of hateful comments that I'm being mean to Denmark, keep in mind that Sweden and Denmark has had a bitter rivalry for hundreds of years. These days we're past all of that though, and we see each other as siblings instead. Denmark is the drunk and lazy sibling, and Sweden is the sibling with the capital of Scandinavia. And that's about it. That was a little look at what people on TikTok say about Sweden and Stockholm. Like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a great day.